Hi friends, I'm Natalie Carey, a certified personal trainer. Today I'm doing a quick workout using what I think are the top 3 pieces of equipment that you can use to improve mobility and flexibility. I'm recommending a foam roller, a bench or a chair, and yoga blocks. And I'm gonna link some recommended products in the video description. I think improving mobility and flexibility is one of the most widely accessible things that almost anyone can do, and it's very functional to supporting a high quality of life. Let's get started in our workout. Come on up to a standing position. We'll be using your foam roller first. This is great for a balance tool. Going into hip circles, bring your knee forward, out to the side, and then rotate the knee down towards the floor before bringing the foot back to the ground. Then we lift it up, over to the side, to the front, and lower it down. We're gonna do several more on this side. I'm using the foam roller as a balance tool for this movement because 1, it's really great for giving people added support, but 2, this movement is really excellent for hip mobility. Getting up and down from the floor, going up and down stairs, getting up and down out of your car. Good, let's switch over to the second side. Bringing that knee up to the front as high as you can without tucking your tail under. To the side, we turn the knee down towards the floor and then lower it down. Reverse that. Up and over. When I'm doing this, I'm trying to isolate the hip in the socket or your leg in the socket, trying to not use my back at all to extend or tuck under. Let's do one more all the way around. And then let's bring this foam roller down to the floor. Make some room for yourself. We're going to lay with the foam roller underneath your back. I'm just gonna scoot this chair out of the way. This should be in line with your rib cage, and it should be underneath your ribs, not on your lower back. Hands behind your head. We're gonna extend over the foam roller gently, and then come back up to our neutral position. The emphasis here is on gently extending over the foam roller. It's not on the crunching up, sitting up part of the movement. Keep going through this as slow as you'd like. You can really sink into that extension. This probably feels so good on your chest and shoulder muscles and on your back, especially if you sit at a desk for long periods of time. This is one of my favorite mobility exercises to do. Let's do one more. We're gonna transition over to foam rolling our glutes. Take a seat on your foam roller, and it doesn't have to be this big, it can be any size. If this is enough pressure on your glute muscles, you can stay here, that's fine. You should have all of your weight over on one side of your butt cheek. If you wanna intensify it, you can cross that leg over. That really opens up the muscle, helps the foam roller get deeper in there. You can also support yourself with both hands behind you. This is one of my favorite movements for people to do to increase their mobility. I find that doing this helps people with their squats, with their deadlifts. It also helps if they're having low back pain. Go ahead and transition over to your second side. I'm gonna face my back to the camera a little bit. That way you can see this from the other angle. I'm gonna cross the leg over. Remember, you can keep both legs on the floor if that is helpful to you. You don't always have to choose the most intense variation of an exercise. So this circuit today is a very gentle workout session. I just really wanna highlight 3 ways that you can use each of these pieces of equipment that you probably already have in your house in order to help you improve your mobility and flexibility. Ooh, I got a tight spot over on the side of that right hip. Okay, come off of that. Next, let's transition into using your chair. You can use a bench or a chair that you have in your house. Set your hands on that sturdy surface. You start with both feet behind you in a plank. Bring one leg forward, so now you're in a lunge, and we'll drop that knee down towards the floor, then straighten it to lift yourself back up. So this is an incline runner's lunge. This is a really great movement for stretching out the front of your hip, for strengthening your legs. This is also a really great way to get up and down off the floor more easily, whether you're using this as conditioning or if you're using a chair to help you do that. Last one, let's meet that foot back with the other one. Bring that second foot forward, second side, drop the knee down. If getting up and down off the floor is something that's a challenge for you, I have an online program that you can follow along with that is designed specifically to help you improve that goal and improve that life skill. Check it out. I'll put the link in the description. Give me a few more here, and then we're gonna take a seat on our bench. I love a seated workout. That's it. Go ahead and take a seat on that bench. You can sit at the edge of your bench or chair. Cross over the ankle onto the opposite knee. If that's not possible for you, you can do the same exercise with the ankle crossed over the shin. Try to get here though, even if you have to pull it up. Sitting up tall, hinge forward with a flat back, and then come back to that starting position. We're not rounding the spine here. We're hinging at the hips, letting the chest come forward, and then coming back up. So you should not feel your shoulders rounding. You should be feeling this in the hip that is crossed over. And if you're not, try giving it a little press down on the knee, gentle press down. That might intensify the stretch for you. Let's do one more and switch over to your second side. Okay. And we hinge forward. You might find, like me too, that one hip is way tighter than the other one. This is my super tight hip. So I feel this stretch immediately. Check in with yourself. Are you rounding your shoulders forward? Make sure the chest is open. We don't want the shoulders rounded forward. Again, this is a really good hip opener. It's good to use for getting up and down off the floor. It's great to use as a warm-up or an in-between for your squats and your deadlifts. Last one. Great. We're coming up to standing. This is a modified caterpillar. So instead of bending over and coming all the way to the ground to get into a plank, I'm gonna do a slight bend in the knees and then walk my hands forward on my bench or chair into a plank, soft knees, walk my hands back. I reach forward, come into that plank, bend the knees, come back. If you would like a bonus hamstring stretch, you can keep the knees straight the whole time. That's fine with me, if that works for you. And I like to do this one preferably with a bench if you have it available to you, because it's a little bit longer. Reaching out for the chair, there's like that moment, right, where you're like, am I gonna make it? And then you do, but still, it can be a little scary. Let's do one more. And then we're gonna get that yoga block. Place the yoga block between your palms with straight arms. Then keeping those elbows as straight as you can and pressing your palms into the yoga block. Lift it up as high as you can overhead, and then slowly bring it back down. If you don't have a yoga block, you can also use a thick book for this. You might find that at a certain point you can't go any further or your elbows start to bend. I don't want you to push yourself into a range of motion where there's any pain. So work in the range of motion that is useful for you today. The other thing is when I'm lifting my arms up, I'm keeping my ribs pulled down so they're stacked right over my hips. Let's do one more of these. and we'll get into our next yoga block movement. Make sure you've moved your chair, your bench out of the way. I want to use this for working on your push-ups. This is a tool that I do with my clients all the time. Let's start it on the high setting. Let's start in a knee push-up. To work on this using a yoga block, bend at the elbows, lower your chest down towards the yoga block as your target, and then come back up. We're gonna be here for 30 seconds. If you've started in this knee position and that's easy, let's come up onto your toes. Keep going. I'm gonna show the next step down, so don't stop going. If you feel like that's easy, you can flip the yoga block to the medium setting to make it more challenging. Don't stop, we got one more. If that's not challenging enough, flip it to the lowest setting to really challenge your range of motion here. Last one, and relax. You might be like, I thought this was an easy workout. Well, it generally is an easy workout, but I wanted to show you how to use a yoga block for mobility and flexibility, and that's how you can use it for mobility in your push-ups. Let's finish with actually an easy movement. You can pad that back knee in this half kneeling position if you want. And then I would hold on to your yoga block in one hand so that you can travel with it. Little tail tuck here. Shift your weight forward, pressing the hips down towards the floor, and use that yoga block to bring the floor up to you. Now we're gonna shift backwards, keeping that foot where it is, and straighten the knee out. So now we're in a big hamstring stretch. Again, this yoga block is helping to bring the floor to me. Shift forward again, hips press forward. Oh, that feels great on that hip today. You might not get as low as me, that's okay. Shift the weight or shift the hip back. You can flex the toe or point it, I don't care. Whatever gives you a great hamstring stretch. Let's do one more of these. I'm keeping the chest lifted and the back flat, and then I'm maintaining that position as I reach the hips back behind me. I'm not letting the shoulders round forward to reach my leg. Let's switch to the other side. Coming into that runner's lunge, hips forward. So this is a floor version of what we did on the chair earlier. Now I'm shifting the hips back. You can flex or point the toe for a hamstring stretch, keeping your back flat. Again, hips come forward. If getting down into this position was challenging for you, check out the link in my description for that online program, Getting Up and Down Off the Floor. Shift your hips back. I have a full workout program in there, all designed to help you get up and down more easily. Let's do one more on this side and then we're done. Shift back. And you did it. All right, those are my top 3 pieces of equipment that I think are the most versatile, the most accessible for more people to use to improve their mobility and flexibility. Yes, there are tons of equipment, pieces of equipment out there that can help you with the same goal. That's fine. I chose these 3 today, again, because I think they are the most accessible for the most amount of people. If you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel for more workouts like this. I'm Natalie Carey. Thanks for being excellent to yourself today.